Bonjour. We are currently in France right now at the Charles de Gaulle airport, and we are flying back to the United States. Today we are going to be flying the Air France business class from CDG to IAD, so that's about a 7.5 hour flight. We are currently at the Air France lounge in Terminal 2E, port/gates M. There are a couple of different gate sections in this terminal, and they're all kind of separate with their own security and everything. It's a little bit confusing, but there are a lot of Air France lounges in this airport, or so I've seen on Google. So it shouldn't be a problem no matter which gate you are flying out of. This lounge is accessible by anyone that is flying SkyTeam, either business or first class. That includes Air France Business and Air France All Premier, as well as the SkyTeam Elite Plus members. So lots of people that could potentially qualify for this lounge. But the good thing is there is plenty of seating here. We didn't have any trouble at all finding any seats. The only thing is that the plugs are a little bit limited, so there's not plugs at every table or like every chair or anything, so you do have to look out for that if you are needing to charge your devices. The food options are also a little bit limited. There's not a whole ton of like hot options, and in terms of like the other foods that are available, they really just have like breads and pastries and some cheeses, kind of like what you would think that a typical Parisian diet consists of, just breads and cheeses. They also have an assortment of wines as well as other non-alcoholic beverages, and there are showers available at this lounge. However, when Steven went to go and try and take one, there wasn't anyone at the desk, so we didn't get to explore that. And we also found out that they have free 20-minute facials. I am a little bit paranoid about like other people touching my face and stuff like that, so that's not something that I wanted to explore today, but definitely an option if that is something that interests you in the future. With your Air France business class ticket, you also do get expedited check-in and the security line as well. So instead of waiting in the long line to check in and also waiting in that line again to get through the customs, you actually go through this expedited line that has these machines. Now when we went, the machines were kind of like broken, and so there was really only one that worked, and it took us a little bit to figure out, but once you kind of figured it out, it goes pretty quickly. In terms of the security process though, it is still the same, so you still do have to take out your liquids and your electronics. You can keep your shoes on. This was a mistake that I made because I am just so used to traveling in the States and having TSA pre-check and just leaving everything in my bag. But don't make that same mistake. There are signs, and I think that there's people, but they were speaking in French, so I didn't really know what they were saying, but I think they were telling me that I needed to take out my liquids and also my laptop. And instead I got my bag brought to the side and totally examined and everything. Regardless, we made it here, and the lounge is very nice. As a business class passenger, you do get priority boarding with the first boarding group. Once you reach your seat, you'll find a hanger if you wanted to hang anything up, as well as your blankets and pillows and slippers. Then once everyone kind of gets settled in, they hand out the amenity kits and a welcome drink. Cheers! Welcome aboard to Air France's business class. I am currently sitting in their Boeing 777-300ER. This is an older product, so whenever you arrive at your seat, you can obviously see there's some wear and tear in like the actual seat and the physical part of the product. Since it is a little bit older, that is to be expected. It's definitely not as new as the American Airlines flagship suites. So this configuration is a 1-2-1 in business class. And Steven and I did decide to pick the two middle seats this time, so we are sitting side by side. There is like a divider in the middle that is a little bit clunky to work with, so it is like a physical divider that comes out and you have to kind of like lock it back in place. It's not a sliding door. There is a place to store it in the overhead bins if you know the person next to you and you don't need to have that privacy. In terms of the seating privacy, this is a reverse herringbone, and you do have the side open to the aisle, so there's not quite as much privacy, and they were a little bit weird about like people filming and taking pictures, so this angle is kind of weird. I'm trying not to get anyone else into the shot, but The privacy is not quite as nice as some of the newer products, although it is still nice that you kind of have your own little cubby and you don't necessarily like have to see anyone's face. But I do appreciate the privacy features in the newer products. In terms of the seat itself, it does recline to a lay flat position, and in terms of the width of the seat, we've got a pretty good width. I comfortably have my pillow right next to me and there's still plenty of room. And as for the space by my feet, there is still quite a bit of room, although if you are taller, there's not quite as much width as if you were a little bit shorter like I am. As far as storage goes, there's not that much storage. There's some underneath the seat, and then there's also a little bit right here. This is the pull-out table. You do have some space right here next to you. This is a little cabinet which stores the headphones. I also have my amenities kit here to unbox in a little bit, but those plug into the TV set. This also pops out by pressing this button to make it easier to view, and then it also is controllable using this remote right here. I don't love the touchscreen because it's kind of sticky. It feels a little bit gross, so I would probably use this. And then over here you have your seating control, so moving it forward, backwards, lay flat, sitting up, and this is a light, which I don't think, oh, I think it actually turns on this light over here. Interesting. And then you also have this little reading light right here. And as far as comfortability goes, let's see, we're working our way down to a lay flat position. It's a little bit creaky. I feel like I actually don't like my seat all the way flat because there's kind of a weird bump in like the back. So I feel like I actually sleep more like slightly upright. The seat is reasonably comfortable. Pillow makes it even more comfortable. I'm just living my life down here. Hello. Okay, let's get back up so I can do the amenities kit unboxing. Kind of not going up. What the heck? I think my seat got stuck. It just keeps going back and forth and not going all the way up. We'll try our best to do it from here. This is the amenities kit. It comes in 2 different colors and they just randomly give you different pouches. In this pouch you will find, ooh, it's a nice red color inside, a pair of black socks. I feel like these are the same socks that American Airlines also gives you. You also have a sleep mask, which this one has a nice like soft interior. I feel like I never get sleep masks this nice, so this is actually a good surprise. It's got an adjustable strap as well. Got a raw toothbrush, not even a toothbrush cover. This is a nice toothbrush, so it's like wooden, which I think is pretty cool, but I don't love the fact that it's just been like raw dogging it in my little amenities kit pouch with no cover. Also got what I presume are earplugs, a Air France pen, I guess. The cap's not very secure. And then we also have a beauty flash ball. Not sure what that is, but it's from Clarins. I feel like that's a pretty nice brand. Toothpaste, as well as a hand and nail cream, also from Clarins. That is the amenities kit. Overall, I think that they're pretty standard amenities. I do like that they have actual branded stuff. A lot of times I feel like airlines just kind of get some generic brand hand cream and like a lip balm or something like that. But Clarins is a brand that I actually recognize, so I definitely appreciate that. But maybe next time they can come out with a toothbrush cover. They just brought over a drink, and I guess these are maybe cookies and a little appetizer. I think that this is the start of a meal. I'm not super sure. They didn't put down a tablecloth, which I feel like they usually do in business class, but that's okay. This still looks pretty yummy. Flavor's really good. I think it's like actually cheesy crackers. It's like cheese. It's like a cheese filling in it. It's really good. We are officially in our, I guess this is lunch. meal, and they did end up bringing by a tablecloth. I think that this is the appetizer. Raw zucchini salad with tarragon and fused curd cheese, shrimp with citrus fruit, and tangy apple. This is our starter, and we also have a little side salad as well as your choice of bread. And I just picked the brown one, so even got the little mini baguette. But this looks delicious. Oh my gosh, there's so many utensils. Seems that there's a little bit of a stain on my napkin though. I don't know if this was on the outside or the inside. Try the salad, just like arugula and greens, and I poured the dressing over it. Your standard veggies for the appetizer. Very good. I especially love the little shrimp part of the appetizer. It's really good. I don't know what they put in it, but it's delicious. For our entree, we have a salmon and shrimp dish. This looks so delicious. I feel like the plating for this entire meal has just been so on par and so good. The sauce is interesting. I'm not very much of a sweet and tangy person, so I feel like it's not really for me, but I feel like overall it's like a pretty good meal. It's got really good flavors and it's cooked very nicely and very well. Up next we have our cheese course. I never thought that that's something that I would say, but I guess there's an entire course just of cheeses. They look pretty smelly. They smell pretty smelly. Let's give it a try. Not a fan of that one. That one is good. This one just weirds me out because it looks moldy. This one right here, I don't know that I can eat too much of it. It tastes like goat's cheese, I think. For dessert, I ended up getting 2 out of the several options they had. They had chocolate, vanilla, and raspberry ice cream, as well as this chocolate cake. Chocolate cake just looked so good and so yummy, and so I just wanted to give it a try. But I also was very intrigued by the ice cream. I don't know, it just looks really good. And they brought me 2 spoons for it, which was really nice. Oh my gosh, the chocolate cake looks so decadent. Cheers. It's like a wafer at the bottom. It's just the perfect amount of sweetness. I think they use dark chocolate in here instead of like milk chocolate. As for the ice cream, also really good. Very chocolatey. I love dark chocolate ice cream. This is like so good. After the lunch service, I just relaxed and caught up on The Summer I Turned Pretty before they brought out the light snack prior to landing. This one, there was not an option to pick what you wanted. Everyone just got the same thing. Unlike the lunch service where you could actually pick your entree, I selected mine online. I'm not sure what the availability is if you did not make your selection online prior to the flight. I assume that your options may be a little bit more limited, but they also do have a pretty extensive drink menu, and I did get a dessert wine while I was just relaxing. We're about an hour and a half away from landing, and they brought over a little light snack. So we've got an orzo and red rice salad, as well as some bread and some grapefruit. I feel like this is like the perfect light snack to kind of just like end the flight, I guess. My seat is still broken, so I feel very close to my table. Yes, Steven just said it's very refreshing. I also agree. I feel like it's like the perfect amount of food too. You're not like super stuffed, but you're also satiated at the same time. Of course, no review is complete without a bathroom tour. So here we have a pretty regular airplane bathroom. Got the sink, the paper towels over here, a changing table, as well as your toilet. And one thing I did notice was they had these clearance branded items here. So they have a lotion as well as I'm guessing a perfume or like a air freshener type thing. The space in the bathroom though is pretty small still. It's just like a regular sized bathroom. So nothing too special. Okay, so now that the flight is coming to an end, it's time for the flight report card. In terms of the lounge access, I feel like I would give it a B+. The strengths are the ample amount of seating, although it is August in Paris, so I don't know if the airport is usually more busy. I've never been to Paris before. I don't really have a good benchmark, but in terms of the food selection, it wasn't that great. Luckily, I wasn't super hungry, so that was totally fine, but I would have appreciated, you know, maybe a couple more hot items. In terms of the seat comfortability, I'm gonna give it an A minus. It's a pretty comfortable seat. I have sat in this before when I flew EVA Air. This one doesn't really have like that ridge in the back that really bothered me on the EVA Air. I think I may or may not have broken my seat, and I'm gonna have to ask the flight attendant to help me fix it and get it back up to the sitting position. TBD on whether or not I actually broke the seat. So update, I'm so mortified. I asked the flight attendant to help me with my seat, and it turns out there's just like a little piece that was stuck. There's a little corner of the seat that I guess got like pushed out whenever I extended it to a lay flat position, and so he just like moved the corner of the seat, and it now fully like sits up like normal. As far as the entertainment system goes, I didn't really use it today. I feel like I scrolled through the movies and the TV shows. I didn't really see anything that I particularly liked. It is an older plane, so the system itself is just older. Probably give it like a B plus. The screen is like a little bit smaller than what you might find on other newer planes. Privacy, so this is just like specifically this plane and this like hard product, I would give it a B because there's not really much privacy, and even in like trying to be conscious of passengers' privacy and also like the flight attendant privacy, trying to find a angle that I could film at was a little bit difficult just because there's a little bit of a lack of privacy. In terms of storage also, I would give it a B as well because there's not really a whole ton of space to store things. In terms of the food, it was an A. The food was really good. Some of it wasn't quite to my liking, but I think that's just very subjective and will differ from person to person, but it was overall pretty good. As far as service goes, I would also give it an A as well. Flight attendants were very on top of things. They were really good about clearing the table and like plates as soon as we were done, and constantly kind of like walking back and forth and making sure, keeping an eye on everything, offering beverages very periodically, being very prompt about everything. As far as the amenities go, I would also give it an A. I feel like the amenities were good, very standard. I like that they gave actual branded products instead of like a no-name brand. They didn't give out PJs though. That's the only other thing, but I feel like on such a short flight, it's kind of hard. You're necessarily like sleeping, maybe just taking a nap, and so I don't mind not having PJs as much, although it is usually a nice touch. I didn't actually end up using the blanket, but the pillow is very nice, and I didn't use the headphones either, but Steven used them the entire flight and they looked very comfortable. And then as far as the bathroom goes, I would give it a minus. It felt like a very normal airplane bathroom. I feel like I've been on some where like the airplane bathroom in the business class is a little bit bigger than in economy. This I feel like was just a standard size, although I did see that they added a couple of touches to the bathrooms. So overall for this flight, we paid 48,000 UR or Ultimate Rewards Trace points. We transferred that to Air France, which had a transfer bonus, so this flight itself was booked for 60,000 points plus some fees. I don't remember off the top of my head what the cash price was, but I'll put it on the screen, and I'll also put the cents per points as well. But overall, the flight was pretty good. I feel like I would definitely fly this again in the future for a similar price point. This is a very contrasting flight experience to the American one, where service here was so good. So to me, that really stood out, but that may be more of like a recency bias. I remember that the service from the EVA or EVA Air flight that I took a couple years ago was also really great and on par. So maybe Americans is just a little bit lacking there, probably due to staffing reasons. But let me know down in the comments below whether you think that this flight is worth it. And if you enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.